Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Clean up Finn's persona. Is Steffy's faithful husband too perfect? The bold and the beautiful makes us wonder. Should B&B ruin John Finn Finnegan's reputation? Is the devoted husband of Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, too perfect? Finn has been Steffy's hero and a strong moral compass since his debut. Aside from his problematic familial relationships, Finn is a great man and, in many ways, the greatest spouse Steffy could ask for. Finn's relationship with Sheila Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, and more recently with Luna Nozoa, Lisa Yamada, has been strained by the show's usage of his complex ancestors. However, Finn always prioritizes Steffy and the children and never deviates too much from the good guy lines. Compared to other men on B&B, this is a welcome shift in several respects. Many viewers concur that Ridge Forrester's Torsten K., constant vacillating between Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, and Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, makes him seem terrible. Since Ridge is self-centered and easily influenced by others, it's difficult to support a man like that. Another confused character who has received a lot of criticism from fans over the years is Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. It's been difficult to believe Liam's love stories because of his constant switching between Steffy and Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Considering all of that, there are excellent grounds to maintain Finn's moral integrity and his unwavering devotion to Steffy. However, Finn's storylines seem a little repetitive because he is such a devoted do-gooder. Finn hardly ever does anything that may be construed as improper, so we never have to wonder what will happen. Given that Finn can occasionally be a little dull, it could be worthwhile to add some intrigue with a betrayal of some kind. Naturally, cheating would not be required, though it is always a popular choice in soap operas. Given that Steffy is out of town with the kids and Jacqueline McInnes Wood is on maternity leave, this could be an intriguing chance to partially tarnish Finn's reputation. For instance, Finn might learn of Luna Nozoa's Lisa Yamada fictitious death and conceal it from Steffy, at least initially. Finn might choose to spare Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, from criminal prosecution and end up feeling some sympathy for Luna as well. In any event, Finn interrogates nervous Grace and occasionally feels a bit too squeaky clean. According to Friday, August 1's recap of the bold and the beautiful B&B, Eric Forrester, John McCook, had good reason to be concerned about Brooke Logan's, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Nick Marone's, Jack Wagner, impending engagement, while John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, questioned a tense Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech. Eric persuaded Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., to pick Brooke over Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig at the hotel in Italy. In an attempt to defend the business, Eric portrayed Brooke as Ridge's genuine love and believed his son had overreacted when she became CEO. Eventually, Ridge came to speak with Brooke in her suite, but she was wearing headphones and couldn't hear him knocking and crying out. Nick was holding Brooke's engagement ring beside the water when Eric went for a walk. That was sufficient to cause Eric to seem scared and to have his eyes bug out. Even after Eric hurried to Brooke's room and cautioned her against allowing Nick to exploit her weakness, she went to meet Nick. After Brooke and Nick texted each other the address, she waited for him and thought back to her happier times in Italy with Ridge. Brooke was shocked to see Ridge had located her after she jolted back to reality. Taylor was discovered at the Forrester mansion by Katie Logan, Heather Tom, who had come in search of Donna Logan Forrester, Jennifer Garais, on Friday's B&B episode. Katie obviously thought that was wishful thinking, even if Taylor had predicted that Brooke could return home engaged to Nick. When Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, visited Finn's office at the hospital, he said that he still hadn't been able to contact Grace. Regarding Liam Spencer's Scott Clifton, odd surgery news. But Finn was determined to talk to Grace today, and he saw her passing by and had his opportunity. Grace grudgingly went inside after Finn called out to her, claiming to have been extremely busy. Grace pretended that she didn't have time to provide updates, despite Finn and Bridget's inquiries regarding Liam's amazing procedure. In the end, Grace persuaded Finn to believe her and hurried off. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Grace won't be able to get away with all of her lies for very long. John Finn Finnegan was dubbed the antidote to the chaos Steffy Forrester had become accustomed to. A man who exuded warmth, integrity, and loyalty in a world that was always changing beneath her feet. He was dependable, loyal, and consistent, everything Liam Spencer had never been for her mother, and everything Ridge Forrester had failed to be for her. One thing, however, soap opera aficionados are aware of: no character should remain flawless indefinitely. Furthermore, the authors of The Bold and the Beautiful are creating the conditions for Finn's long-protected halo to break now that Steffy is on maternity leave in Paris and Luna Nozoa is thought to have died under suspicious circumstances. Missed calls, strained looks, and an odd delay in communicating important details were the subtle beginnings. However, under the surface lies a tempest of deceit, concealment, and moral lapse that may bring down the cleanest hero of the day. Finn has decided not to denounce Lee for staging Luna's death after months of repressing his intuition. And that's only the start. Finn finds himself perilously near a line he vowed never to cross. Not as a doctor, not as a spouse, and not as a man, while Hope Logan is in mourning over Liam's diagnosis and disappearance. Grace Buckingham's deceit was the first step. Finn initially thought she was simply careless, perhaps even overburdened. However, Finn realized something more sinister was going on when he and Bridget found a contradiction in Liam's surgical records. Specifically that there were no scans to back up the alleged brain tumor diagnosis. He hesitated, though. He had recently learned another secret, that Luna might still be alive, rather than because he didn't want to keep Liam safe. When the door was secured and the shades were drawn, Lee whispered to him inside her office. "She's getting better," Lee stated icily. "But it's over for all of us if the truth comes out." Finn sat there in shock and silence, because he didn't see his mother at that precise moment. He saw the woman who had kept the world in the dark about his own death. He also saw that she had not altered. Steffy's absence, however, dragged on. She was unaware, but her texts were happy. "You are missed," she wrote. "Today Hayes inquired about you. Once more, he is depicting you as a superhero." Finn grinned, but the warmth never made it to his eyes, because he was slipping back in Los Angeles. He noticed that Luna's room was empty. He started watching the security tape from the night she attacked Liam again. What if she hadn't intended to do it? He wondered. Could she have been drugged? What if Luna was just as much of a victim as the guy she had almost killed? And Lee was correct. Bridget went up to him. He also lied when he said, "John, you're holding something back," in front of her. Because it wouldn't end there if he was honest. Questions would start to circulate. There would be monitoring of the hospital. Lee might be taken into custody. The Finnegan family's tenuous sense of tranquility would be destroyed by the truth about Luna, including her survival, her mental health, and the weeks she was confined to a hospital bed at a far-off facility. He therefore told a fib. Only once, then again, and once more. Next was Hope. Hope Logan was distraught, perplexed, and exposed. Carter Walton, her fiancé, was becoming aloof. Following what should have been a life-saving operation, Liam had vanished. Grace was underground. Additionally, Finn was present, firm, trustworthy, nice. One evening in the guest house in Forrester, she told him, "You're the only person I can talk to," as tears streamed down her face. He encircled her shoulders with an arm and said, "Everyone else is lying to me," told her that she was powerful, assured her that she wasn't insane. He spoke with sincerity. He didn't back down, though, when her hand found his, and she pressed her head against his chest. Not initially. There was no kiss. Not quite yet. However, the moment between them was lengthy and perilous. Hope hurried away, embarrassed. Long after the door had closed, Finn continued to stare at it, and Steffy responded with an unfitting smile when they FaceTimed that evening. "Everything is all right," he declared. "Everything is fantastic." However, it wasn't. Finn had already begun to falsify medical documents. Modified scan dates and restricted access codes are minor issues. To postpone inquiries into Grace Buckingham's practices, some people used fake initials. At first, he gave an explanation. He persuaded himself, just until I can prove the truth. In actuality, though, he was concealing the facts more and more each day, because it got more hazardous the more he discovered. Liam had phony scans. They staged his diagnosis. The operation, a fake. Grace masterminded a multimillion-dollar swindle with the assistance of an enigmatic offshore surgeon who went by the name Dr. V. And Finn, he was hiding it, not for cash, not for show, but because he didn't want the world to know that he was responsible for the near-fatal death of a man he considered family. Even worse, Luna's case was falling apart. She wasn't feeling good. She awoke with a scream, her mind shattered, replaying the terrible night repeatedly. "That wasn't me," she said. "It wasn't me." Finn thought drugs may be at play. Perhaps something Lee gave without permission, or perhaps something darker. However, the tests were negative. The lab results were manipulated. Finn had to delve further into Luna's pre-attack text to RJ, into Lee's files, and into Poppy's old medical records. He discovered one. "Tell them I loved him if I don't return." What did she mean? Was Luna attempting to flee Los Angeles? Had someone manipulated her? Finn became more fixated. Additionally, Steffy stayed away. The tipping point then arrived. Lee was giving Luna an 4 injection when Finn entered. "It's just to calm her," she replied. However, the expression in her eyes conveyed a different message. Lee cautioned, "She is dangerous. Everything will be destroyed if she speaks, if she remembers." Finn took hold of her wrist. Lee withdrew, saying, "You don't get to play God again. I kept you alive. I did everything for you." Even so, he turned on her. "Don't turn on me now." He called Bill Spencer, told him some of the truth at least. "Luna is still alive. She's not safe, though," Bill snapped. Demanded entry. Threatened lawsuits. Finn, however, pleaded for patience. "Allow me to stabilize her." Bill grudgingly consented. "Let me demonstrate what actually occurred." But now Finn had a new problem, Bridget. She had scanned Luna herself, silently, and she was aware of a problem. What was given to her by Lee, she insisted. Finn remained silent. "This is against the law, John," Bridget remarked. "You might lose your license for this." Finn turned away. "I've already paid more than that." And at last Steffy came back. She arrived home early, caught Finn and Hope in the middle of their phone conversation, caught him with a file labeled El Hidden. Restricted access Nozawa caught him in the middle of a secret storm. "What on earth is happening?" she asked. Finn broke down. He filled her in on everything. Regarding Luna, concerning Grace, concerning Lee, about the lies, the silence, and the tampered records. What about Hope? He declared, "I didn't cheat on you." But I didn't stop it either. Tears welled up in Steffi's eyes. "My rock was you. My lone rock." I was attempting to keep you safe," Finn muttered. "You were safeguarding yourself." Steffy then packed a backpack, took the children, walked away. Now, surrounded by walls that reverberate with quiet, Finn sits by himself in the house they made together. Under armed guard, Luna is recuperating in a private wing. Grace has left the nation. Lee has been placed on suspension. He can't get Bridget to return his calls. Hope is no longer there. And the perfect doctor, the man who once healed everyone else, is now damaged. But perhaps he needed that. For being flawless is a jail. Finn is now free to develop into a more nuanced, imperfect, and human being. It's no longer spotless, no longer Steffi's ideal partner, but maybe, just maybe, still worth preserving. Because of Nick's failed plan, Ridge returns to Brooke permanently. According to bold and beautiful previews, Ridge Forrester ultimately chooses Brooke Logan as his permanent partner following a terrible drowning mishap in Italy. Officially, Brad Bell and Taylor Hayes' 35-year romantic triangle is finished. Discover the shocking details. Nick's boat proposal ends in disaster as Brooke takes a terrifying dive. Nick Marone thought he had the perfect answer. A beautiful boat excursion in Italy. An engagement ring. A chance to end Brooke Logan's toxic cycle of spending decades with Ridge Forrester. But what should have been a dream proposal is about to turn into a nightmare, and the accident that follows will drastically change the situation. We do know that Nick is going all out for his romantic gesture in the proposal that goes terribly wrong. He owns the boat. The ring is with him. He wants Brooke to be away from Ridge and ready to hear that she is more worthy than a man who has been alternating between two women for 35 years. Did the man make a mistake? Brooke always turns to Nick as her second choice and safe haven after Ridge breaks her heart for the millionth time. Let's face it, he is correct about the detrimental pattern. How many times has Ridge pretended that Brooke and Taylor Hayes are interchangeable? But here is where the wrath of fate steps in. On their romantic boat journey, Brooke is about to fall into the sea. Whether it is because of a piece of the pier crumbling, the boat tilting, or just plain bad luck, our girl is swimming in the Italian seas without any prior plans. Furthermore, it won't be the cool dip that anyone was looking for. Will Ridge or Nick save the day? Things start to get really intriguing at this point. While in Italy on business for Forrester, Ridge wears Taylor's engagement ring on his conscience as he sees the entire horrific event unfold. Some teasers suggest that Ridge immediately steps in to carry out a heroic rescue. Do you mean the original Ridge? Nothing helps him realize how he truly feels like a damsel in distress. Other reports suggest that Nick might be the first to intervene, leaving Ridge to observe while his opponent cradles a soaked Brooke. Either way, the same thing occurs. Ridge awakens at last. Brad Bell drops the ultimate bombshell soap fans. Get your remote controllers ready. In an exclusive interview with the Italian magazine Oggi, Brad Bell just put a stop to 35 years of will they won't they drama with one stunning revelation. Ridge and Brooke are endgame. Not endgame until the next sweeps month. Not maybe endgame, but they'll be together forever after 8 marriages, according to the man who essentially controls every story element on this show, pursuing connections with brothers, fathers, and everyone else in between. After more divorces than we can remember, CPS controversies, and fake deaths, the backup plan was always Taylor. Ridge discovers that his existence in Italy is all about Brooke at last. We should take a moment to honor Taylor Hayes, who is always the bridesmaid and never the bride. Ridge's engagement ring is currently on the woman. She's planning for their future together. She probably has the wedding venue reserved already. And Brooke's heart will be ripped out again since she fell in some water. See, I get it. Near-death experiences have a way of clarifying things. But move quickly. Taylor is the reliable and secure choice, so Ridge always turns to her when Brooke does something controversial. She thinks she has finally won this marathon after 30 years of finishing second, but she is mistaken. She starts to wonder why she keeps playing this game after an Italian boat accident. Why Italy? Why? Now, it's no coincidence that Bell chose Italy for this momentous event. Here, Ridge and Brooke have gone through their most passionate reunions as well as their most devastating splits. Remember when Ridge looked through the keyhole in Rome and saw Brooke as his destiny? It seems like fate had to take a 35-year detour through Taylor land to get back to the starting point. Let's talk about Nick's involvement as the motivation for this as well. Ridge's half-brother, the ex-wife of Brooke, the man who has been warning Brooke about this dangerous cycle for years. Brooke feels compelled to return to Ridge's hug as a result of Nick's perversely romantic act. That irony is great, isn't it? Future consequences, if Brad Bell is indeed as committed to this forever business as he seems to be, bold and beautiful, will undergo a significant transformation. No more love triangles. Don't hesitate any longer. Rushing to Taylor in an emergency will no longer be an option. Instead, the drama will have to come from somewhere else. Their children are already at war. So expect things to grow heated. Steffy and Thomas versus Hope and RJ. In the face of rival businesses, family conflicts, and outside threats, Ridge and Brooke will put up a united front. How about Taylor? Already, people are speculating about a potential collaboration with Bill Spencer. That is the man she shot. Because attempted murder is obviously just foreplay in the world of soap operas. The fan response is crucial, and social media is in full-blown meltdown mode. Bridge enthusiasts are sharing their triumphant laps with captions like, "It's about damn time," and "It's finally paid off after."